All generous minds have a horror of what are commonly called facts. They are the brute beasts of the intellectual domain. The object of man's desire is not to enjoy once only, and for one instant of time, but to assure forever the way of his future desires. Science is the knowledge of consequences, and dependence of one fact upon another. They that approve a private opinion, call it opinion, but they that mislike it, heresy, and yet heresy signifies no more than private opinion. Laughter is nothing else but sudden glory arising from some sudden conception of some eminence in ourselves, by comparison with the infirmity of others, or with our own former self. All men, among themselves, are by nature equal. The inequality we now discern hath its spring from the civil law. Government is necessary, not because man is bad but because man is by nature more individualistic than social. A man cannot lay down the right of resisting them that assault him by force, to take away his life. During the time men live without a common power to keep them all in awe, they are in that conditions called war, and such a war, as if of every man, against every man. The right of nature is the liberty each man hath to use his own power, as he will himself, for the preservation of his own nature, that is to say, of his own life. He that is to govern a whole nation, must read in himself, not this, or that particular man, but mankind. The obligation of subjects to the sovereign is understood to last as long, and no longer, than the power lasteth by which he is able to protect them. They that approve a private opinion, call it opinion, but they that mislike it, heresy, and yet heresy signifies no more than private opinion. A man's conscience and his judgment are the same thing, and as the judgment, so also the conscience, may be erroneous. The secret thoughts of a man run over all things, holy, profane, clean, obscene, grave, and light, without shame or blame. If men are naturally in a state of war, why do they always carry arms, and why do they have keys to lock their doors? The flesh endures the storms of the present alone, the mind, those of the past and future as well as the present. Gluttony is lust of mind. The praise of ancient authors proceeds not from the reverence of the dead, but from the competition and mutual envy of the living. For to accuse requires less eloquence, such as man's nature, than to excuse, and condemnation, than absolution, more resembles justice.